Hi everyone, my name is LORENZO. I am here to discuss about the process of doing activity 1 here in information systems. So first things first, what we have to learn in this activity is that we have to gain hands-on experience with creating and managing tables in Microsoft Access. It is a powerful database management tool. We will be starting by creating accounts table, which will store essential account information and then learn how to add records to the table. And in order to populate our own database, next we will need to explore ways to modify existing tables to update or refine our data structure. Finally, we will be creating our new transaction table, allowing us to track transactions and relate them to accounts. This activity introduces key MS Access features for essential and effective database and design and management. All right, let's get right into it. So first things first, here in MS Access, we have to create our table. So in order to do that, we have to click on create, click table design, type in here customer ID. Then right after that, we will have to set it as our primary key because in Microsoft Access, a primary key is a field or combination of fields that uniquely identifies each record in a table. So it kind of ensures data integrity by preventing duplicates or null values in the key field. So it serves also as a main identifier for a record and helping to create relationships between tables. All right. So continuing on, we have to type in here. We have to follow what is in the file instructed. So we have to click in here name. So we have to edit the data type first to a number because this is a customer ID. Then name for a short text, followed by the address. Let's see here. Address usually are long text, so click in long text. City is short. And then we have company. And then we have mobile number. Alright, so here we have to add in a description for each field name. So for the description for the customer ID, it has to be a unique identifier for a customer. Of course, the name for the customer, their address, the city of the customer, of course, the company, and the mobile number of the customer. Alright, now that we have all fields defined for the table, a primary key should be defined, which we have done a while ago. So we have to always put in here a primary key for the customer ID. So in order to do that, right after we do that, we have to click on save and then name this as customer. Alright, so moving on to the next, we have to create the accounts table. So in order to do our accounts table, we have to again click on table design, and then we have created here a new table, and then what we have to input there, of course, is always we have to input something in each columns of the field in the accounts table. So number one, we would need the customer ID. Next would be the account number, and then the account type, and then the date opened and balance. Just fix in here with the names. There we go. And then edit the data type. Of course, we have number for the customer ID. Again, account number is also a number. And then account type could be a text, so it could always be like a short text only. Date opened is, of course, you have to set in here a date. And then here in the balance is always a number. All right, so we have to put in a description for each. So customer ID, we have to put in there, and then account number for a bank account. Then we have in here account type, so what type of account is it a check or a savings account or etc. Then the date the account was open, and then we have in here the current balance. All right, so here we have to set the account number as a primary key. So how do we do that? So we have to click in here in the field name, account number, and then just click on here with the key symbol, set as primary key. And then after that, we will have to click on Save, and then rename this as accounts. There we go. Now that we have made our tables for the corresponding accounts and customer, we have to figure out what's next for us is to actually populate the database itself. So how do we do that? We go first into customer. We click on this button here, which is view. So here it allows us to see what we have made earlier when we go back to the design view. The field names that we have. This will act as our headers corresponding to what type of data set we are doing. So when we click view, we'll see here our field names, customer ID, name, address, city, company, mobile number, and etc. So here I have already populated and typed in 1001. That's Will Smith from 1234 Moralia. So you notice that the address is not completely shown. So there are two ways to actually adjust the column of this. First is manually, where you can just simply uh, click in between the headers or the field names above that can be seen. You can drag it all the way here, or simply yet you can just double click for it to auto adjust. See, like that. So once you've done that, you type in here the address, the city, and then the company, and then the mobile number. And then same as for accounts, we go to the view button, and then I've already populated here, as you can see, the customer ID 1004 up until to 1001, including their unique account numbers. On the account type, remember in the account type, when we click again here, it could be checking, savings, and etc. So it can either be this two, and then there's a date here that can only accept dates because we set it into date. And then for the balance, we have to set it as a currency, which I added earlier. As you can see here, it's now currency. And then I just add in here what is required for me to type in. So that's 800, 500, 6,000, 9,000, and 1,000. Also, there's 2,000 and 4,000. So what's next for us is I've already shown you how to adjust the columns. And then from there, we're all going to simply do an input mask box. So what does it do? So it actually helps us make things more easier. So I'll give you an example. We go back to the customer. As you can see, as for the phone number, we don't really accept this type of phone numbers, which are actually hard to, take a look into when we're doing databases. So what we have to do is into like add in parentheses on how we could make the number more detailed. So from here, we go back to view and then design view. And then when we got here to the mobile number, we are going to select input mask box. So from here, we can see here three dots on our side. We have to click that in. But yes, you have to save that table. And then from here, we will have to scroll to it and find the mobile number. Okay, there we go. Yes, that is correct. Right, now that we got everything set up for our field names and our in our tables for the accounts and customer, what we have to do next is actually double check which ones are correct from the document. So I noticed that I did something wrong here in the data type. So it's supposed for the balance is supposed to be currency, which I corrected. And then what's next for us to do here is to actually populate the database itself. So you will see here in the field name, customer ID, name, address, city, and company number should be acting up upon into a header. Same as here for the accounts, the customer ID, account number, account type, date open, and balance. So going back to customer, when we click here on the left side, view, we have to save the table, which is yes. So you will see here that I already typed and populated the data for us. So I type in here 1001 Will Smith 1234 Moralia Intermurus Manila ABC International. There's their company, and then their mobile number doesn't appear to show up here. That's because I need to put it up. So give me a second. And I will explain later on why is it on asterisk for the moment. Anyways, give me a moment. I may have double clicked on some things. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see here, first things first, we have to fix this mobile number section. In order to do that, we have to go back to the design view. So how do we do that? We just click in this drop down under view and then go to design view. You will see that the input mask is on password, so you will have to remove it. For the moment, we will just type in here, double check. So here you will see that I changed something from the medium date. I'll just have to click on make actually a mask for this, so it will actually help us mask the number properly, so we would actually know what type of number we are using. So as for the Filipino setting, we actually use a globe, smart, and then we have talk and text, TM, so many SIM cards. So in order for that to work is that in order to add those asterisks, we have to make a mask. So whenever we add in certain numbers, we would actually figure out which will actually make it easy for us on how to deal with this type of numbers. So what we have to do here is input this as a mask, then click next. Then you have to with symbols in the mask like this and click next and then click finish. So you will see here that the input mask will actually look different from now on. So when we go back to the view, we have to save our table. We will actually see here what is the mobile number properly now. There we go. Just have to click save the table and click on view. So that now that's fixed. Okay, here we actually can adjust also. Before we can see when I typed this earlier, we can actually see the columns as not really fitting. So in order to do that, we have to. There's two ways to fix the columns. So first is so we can actually just drag this as a slider here, or we can double click for it to automatically adjust upon the length. You can see that. And then also, what if I want to like move out field names to other places? Like for example, the city must come first before the address. So what simply we just have to click on the entire column. We can drag it all the way to the right, so you can see it just interchanges. All right. Okay, let me just double check here what's next for us. Okay, now we have to set the value from a drop down box. So for example, let's do that in a city. So for example, here in the city, we could actually just simply use a drop down tool. Like for example, we want to automatically not type, but instead there's a drop down that will show up here: Manila, Makati, Quezon City, Parañaque City, any cities that we would need to input. So how do we do that? We go back to design view. That is actually called switching. So we have to select the field that we want to alter. So in this instance, it's city. So I just have to click in here again. We got here. And then from here, we have to go to the lookup. So here in the lookup, we have a display control. There's also a drop down here. We just click on combo box and then row source. So under row source type, we just have to select a value list. So for example, we want to show up Makati, Manila, and Mandaluyong. So how do we do that? So we just have to enter the values how we want them to be displayed, and then you can just separate them by a comma. So for example, this one. So that's that one. And then from there, we just double check if this works. We have to control save the customer tab, click on switch to data sheet view again. And then you would actually see here a drop down list for each on what to choose. All right. And then from here, now we have to create our transaction table. So in creating our transaction table, same goes. We just have to click on create and then table design. From table design, we have to not put in a data here yet, but we have to put in ID. And then we have to make this as an auto number. We have here the account number, transaction type, and then there's also our balance, transaction amount, and our current balance. Okay, now for the data type. So of course for the account number, it's supposed to show up a number. For the transaction type, it can be left out as short text. And then for the rest, balance, transaction amount, and current balance should be currency. There we go. And then when you're done, just click on save. Name this as transaction. And then when we're done setting this, we just have to make sure that in the primary key should be account number. You just have to click on save and then write the table name as transactions. And then in order for us to go back to the view of the datasheet, So I hope you learned something on how to create an accounts, customer table, and transaction table. All right. Thank you so much and have a good day.